everyone. Okay, so I'm back again and I'm doing another recipe, and today we're making a bacon and chicken mac and cheese. So our mac and cheese has got 4 parts to it. It's the pasta, it's the nyama part of it, it's the sauce, and it's the crunchy topping. We're using a brown whole wheat pasta today, and I've already cooked the pasta. Here we've got the macaroni, and it's whole wheat brown pasta, and I cooked it in rapidly boiling water. No oil was added to the water. If your water is rapidly boiling, you don't need to add any oil to it. It won't stick together. Just make sure that it's rapidly boiling. You drain it off, and then once it's drained off, you add a little bit of oil to stop it from sticking, and just add salt to your water as well. And then for the meaty nyama part of it, I've got my cubed chicken. I've got bacon. If you don't like bacon, don't eat bacon, don't add it. Got my diced peppers. Got some onions, garlic, and rosemary. Garlic, as you know, I like using fresh garlic. If you don't have fresh garlic, any other kind of garlic is up to you. And then for the sauce, I'm gonna just start with the base of a white sauce. So I've got my flour, butter, then to that I'm gonna do milk. You can use full cream milk, low fat milk, fat-free milk. If you're lactose intolerant or trying to be whatever, or add extra flavor, you can do coconut milk if you like, or your other soy milks, almond milks, and so forth. And then I've just got some grated cheddar cheese, and I've got some whole grain mustard. You can use English mustard, Dijon mustard, mustard powder. If you don't like mustard, leave it out. And then for my topping, I've just got a mixture of breadcrumbs, some Parmesan cheese, some dried herbs, and some grated cheese. Yeah, that's gonna go right on top at the end, as well as finished off with some sliced spring onions. So here we go. So I'm gonna start off with the sauce so that can kind of be set to the side and just bubble away. So just gonna start off by melting the butter, and just gonna start off by making a basic white sauce and then turn that into a cheese sauce. So with the white sauce, it's just really nice and versatile with that as well. And at the same time, I'm gonna start heating up my pan so that I can start cooking the meat part of it at the same time, because we want to work quickly. You don't want to spend a long time in the kitchen as well. So once you've got a basic white sauce done and dusted, to that you can turn it into a cheese sauce, you can turn it into a mushroom sauce, you can turn it into a pepper sauce. You can basically make it and transform it into whatever it is that you want. So once all my butter is melted, I'm going to slowly add in the flour to then give me a roux, which is basically a flour and butter mixture. And I use a whisk. And I whisk until all my flour, all my butter is basically coated all of my flour particles. So I don't see any flour anymore. As you can see there, I don't see any flour anymore. And it's no longer sticking to my pan. And I don't have anything sticking anymore. Okay, and at this point, I then start to add in my milk. Oops. Slowly whisk in my milk. And basically the key to make sure to not create more lumps or extra lumps, because what we're doing when we're whisking is we're basically getting rid of the lumps. So whisk in one direction. Don't whisk clockwise 1 minute and then start whisking anti-clockwise the next minute, because then you're guaranteed to create lumps. So just make sure that you whisk in one direction. Even if you start off by whisking in little circles and then big circles, just make sure that you keep it in one direction. So I literally just gradually add my milk, little by little. And make sure that you go to literally every crevice of the pot, every corner. Your pot there. And I'm working on a fairly low heat as well, because if your heat is too high, then basically, how am I gonna say this? And then you're gonna have a problem, and then things are just gonna get out of control. So you wanna keep things within your control. Okay. Oh, going back to our pasta, guys, make sure that when you're cooking your pasta, you wanna cook it not like mushy, because you are not cooking it like you're making it like al dente. Like basically you want to still have it, want it to have a bit of a bite, so it's not mushy. You want it to have a bit of texture, because with the mac and cheese we're still going to bake it in the oven, so it's still going to cook for a little bit more. But just as a general rule, don't overcook your pasta. Please stop overcooking your pasta, please, because under general, when you're making pasta, you're probably going to have like hot mince with it or a nice hot sauce. The sauce is still going to carry on cooking your pasta. So if you're going to overcook your pasta, then you're going to add a hot sauce to it as well. Like, that's how you just get slap. So don't overcook your pasta. You'd rather undercook a little bit, and then it's going to still carry on cooking when you add the sauce and so forth and other things to it. So as you can see, I did not stop whisking whilst I'm working through my nani, and my sauce is lump free. So I haven't seasoned my sauce as yet, and I'm not going to add a lot of seasoning to it, or I'm not actually going to season it right up until the end, because my cheese is salty, and also my meat, my bacon is also salty as well. So I actually don't want to add any seasoning to it until I've actually combined my meat and my sauce together. So it's very important this is why you taste your food as you're cooking. Otherwise, you then have very, very salty food. So now at this point, I'm now adding in my mustard. Squeeze my mustard. Oh, beautiful creamy velvety sauce. What I will season it with is a little bit of black pepper. Not salt, but pepper. If you don't like pepper, don't add pepper. So ungati, because I said no. If you don't like it, don't add it. Okay. Now I'm gonna add my grated cheese. Whisk it in a bit at a time. As you can see, I didn't take my milk away because the minute I add cheese wami, my sauce starts to tighten up, and then I loosen it a bit with my milk. Because at the end of the day, you actually want a fairly loose sauce. Because I still want to add more cheese. The rest of my cheese. Okay, make sure that you get to every corner that is happening over here. It's really smelling so delicious. Now you can add literally 1 type of cheese. You can add in 2 types of cheese. You can add in 3 types of cheese. It is up to you how adventurous you want to get. You can do cheddar cheese plus a Parmesan cheese plus another type of cheese. You can add a smoky cheese. You can make this a 3 cheese mac and cheese. As I said, it is totally up to you. And that is my sauce done. And I'm literally gonna just set it to the side whilst I do the meat side of things. Okay, so going to start with my bacon. I want to fry off my bacon first, and I also want it to release all the fat. So you can use any type of bacon that you like. You can do streaky bacon, any type of bacon that you have in the house. Totally up to you. And to that, I'm going to add my onions. Going to add my rosemary. And my garlic. cook that until my onions are nice and soft. Okay, so as you can see, our onions and our bacon and our garlic and our rosemary have been cooking for a while now until our onions are soft. I didn't add any extra oil to it. All our oil and our fat that's come out is from our bacon. So you don't need to add any extra fat to that. So we're gonna add our peppers. So the reason why I'm adding them last is because I still want them to keep some texture and color as well. And now I get to add in my chicken. Remember, I haven't added any seasoning, no salt, nothing as yet, because my bacon is salty and my cheese is also salty from the sauce. I'll only start seasoning with salt once I've combined my sauce with the nyama part of it. Again, what I will season is with a bit of pepper. Coming together very nicely. Just gonna slide this over here just to speed things up a bit. I'll show you what it looks like when the chicken's cooked. Okay, so our chicken is cooked and I'm going to add my sauce to the chicken, like so. Okay, so I added my sauce to my chicken. I'm gonna add my spring onions. And I checked and I can now season with a little bit of salt and pepper. And you can now check at this point as to how much salt you can add. I'm gonna add my pasta in. So as you can see, ayihlangananga ipasta yami. Just mix it all together. Make sure all of the pasta gets evenly coated with the sauce. So you've got two options before we bake it in the oven. You can either do it in one large casserole dish like so, or you can bake it in individual portions and then each person gets one little individual portion size like that. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it into the two individual that. Okay. So I've dished it out into one individual so I can show you that. Then you can, the rest of it, I'll do it into one large casserole family style dish. is your bacon and chicken mac and cheese. And our breadcrumbs that we had was our breadcrumbs, parmesan, grated cheese, and dried herbs. And we literally sprinkle it on top to cover. And it's gonna add a beautiful crunch and texture and color on top of our dish. Then we're going to bake this in the oven just until it's gotten golden and brown, because most of our ingredients are cooked already.
Okay, quiet on set.
Okay, so our pasta has been baking in the oven. And we have our first individual one, beautiful and brown. And our second one, beautiful. And golden. And I will plate that up. And I'll show you what it looks like when I've plated it all up. And I'll take a beautiful picture. And that is our chicken and bacon pasta bake casserole.